Hi there, Facebook. Shocking, but great. I am so happy that Cleveland finally won a finals game. I'm mostly happy for the NBA because maybe, just maybe, we will now have a competitive series. This will be my last Facebook Live from Cleveland, Ohio, where we had 4 great shows this week, thanks to the great people of Cleveland, right out nearby where I'm now talking to you from, out in the Gateway Plaza next to the Q, which going into tonight stood for quiet because it felt like a morgue today, outside a basketball morgue. Fans were down, but they showed up in droves for Undisputed. Again, we're on 9:30 to noon, as you know, Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. We were here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what I've appreciated about the people of Cleveland over the last few years that LeBron and company have been in the finals and I've been here for shows is they love our show. They don't love my opinions of LeBron, but they know at least that I'm fair, and they know I speak with my heart, and that I'm not a shock jock, and that I'm giving them straight from the heart opinions that I back up and validate about LeBron James. And I remain devastated, crushed that the game that I picked Cleveland to win, which was Game 3, and again, I've got Golden State in 7. That was my pre-finals pick. But I am now even more devastated that the king in his palace, the Q, couldn't close a deal with a 4-point lead with a minute and a half left in Game 3 on Wednesday night. This should be 2-2 going back to Oakland. This should be an all-time great battle royal, a classic clash of juggernauts of all-time potentially great players. Obviously, LeBron has established his all-time greatness, but Steph and Klay were on the rise. But it was time for the king, with a whole lot of help from his favorite uncle, as in Drew, to say no in Cleveland and no in Cleveland in Games 3 and 4 and get this thing even all going back to Oakland for Game 5. Instead, you know what happened over the final 3 minutes of Game 3 on Wednesday night, and I still haven't recovered from it. Cleveland couldn't score a single point. They scored 49 points in the first quarter tonight, but they couldn't score a single point over the final 3:06 of Wednesday night's Game 3. It was devastating, demoralizing, crushing. I didn't think the Cavs could get back up off the psychological mat in time to stave off the Lake Erie tidal wave of emotion that would be the Golden State Warriors tonight, with a chance to get revenge and get some vindication and some revalidation by dethroning the king in his palace tonight and become the first team ever to sweep the playoffs. Even though there's no way Golden State would have swept the playoffs if Kwahi Leonard hadn't gotten hurt by Zaza Pacheep shot. Dirty played Kawhi right out of the Western Conference Finals mid-third quarter with my Spurs up 23 at Golden State. So, what's my biggest picture takeaway from tonight? Well, first of all, J.R. Smith. I wish he'd owned his tweet the other night. I know he tweeted it. I'm sorry. He didn't get hacked. He went straight to his phone after Game 3, down 3-0, and tweeted Cavs in 7. I loved it. Own it. Embrace it. Shout it from the rooftops of downtown Cleveland. Revitalized, upgraded, updated downtown Cleveland. Shout it. Spit it at Golden State. Scare Golden State. No, he said he was hacked. Well, that's all you got left is Cavs in 7. And it was JR's spirit in early shot making, his first 2 threes that led to a third 3 from J.R. Smith. That detonated the Cavs and the crowd. That knocked everybody out of their pregame doldrums. And all of a sudden, the Cavs reignited thanks to J.R. Smith, who's always the X factor in big game after big game after big game. Can he make three-point shots? And then all of a sudden it was Threveland once again. Here we went again, and the final score was really 24-12. 24 three-point shots made by the Threveland Cavaliers. I've been calling them Cleveland because there's no D left in Cleveland, because they finished 22nd in the NBA in defense, and tonight it just didn't matter. I thought there was no way they could run and gun with Golden State unless Golden State just couldn't gun. And tonight was one of those fairly routine, regular, cold nights, cold as January in Cleveland kind of nights, when all of a sudden they make only 11 threes. So guess what? The quote-unquote greatest duo ever, that's what I was hearing all day today, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Wait a second. They combined to go 4 for 18 from 3? It happens. Klay Thompson wasn't bad, 4 for 9, but Draymond added a 1 for 6 for 3. When that happens, you got a shot. It happened in the third quarter of Game 3, and Cleveland had a great shot. Up 7 going to the fourth quarter. I'll just go all the way to a minute and a half left. They're also up 7 with 3:06 left, but they were up 4 with a minute 30 left. Ball in the hands of the king. We saw him go for another triple-double tonight. We saw him attack mode early on Iguodala. And he had 2 chances late in Game 3 to seal the deal. You got one against Iguodala. He can't stop you from freight training to the rim. You're the greatest attacker of the basket ever. And what do, King? You fade away, fall away, shy away from pressure, and shoot a silly shot that barely ticks the front of the rim when you could have taken Iguodala to the rim and at least gotten to the free throw line, if in fact you had the guts to go stand there by yourself and shoot those late game free throws. That was with a minute and a half left. It could have given you a 6-point lead. I think that would have worked. 52 seconds left, King. Here you came again. You're still up 2. What do? You've got Draymond with 5 fouls switched on to you. You immediately have a right-hand superhighway to the basket, and you don't attack. You dribble, you shy, you get tentative, you think, I better not try this. You go left-handed dribble. You can disqualify Draymond if you get him for a 6th foul. I still thought when he went left, he should have just gone right up through Draymond. I think he gets that call at home. That's just me. He's the king. He's the best player on the planet. What does he do? Kicks it to the far corner to a guy who's now on his 5th NBA team, a guy who can really shoot threes, but not with 52 seconds left with the series and the season on the line. You don't want Kyle, quote-unquote, Clutch Corver from the far corner. That's just not the shot you want. You want the king going up strong on Draymond Green. 6th foul. Reignite the building. Maybe it's an and one. It's over. You clinched it. You cinched it. You're back in this series at 2-1. You'd be going home tonight, hypothetically, 2-all. Should be 2-all. But King came up small. So here we come to tonight. I didn't think Cleveland could recover psychologically. I thought Golden State would come in with that vindictive revenge motive that they've been just feeding off of all year long. They've been on a year-long mission to right the wrong, the disgrace, the ignominious collapse last year. First team ever to collapse 3-1 up finals. Obviously, Draymond got suspended, and Bogut got hurt, couldn't play in 6 and 7. Draymond couldn't play in 5. But I got the feeling, we had Wanda Durant, if you saw Undisputed 2 days ago on. She's great. I love her on TV, but I got to say, she said her son kept warning her, Mama, it's not over yet. We got to go win another game. But I got the feeling the mamas were all a little bit prematurely celebrating. Draymond's mom, Steph's mom, KD's mom. It just felt like they're all ready to pounce, social media-wise, even in Cleveland's building, and say, we got you back. We got even. And it felt like to me from the start tonight, Golden State's minds were on what had become a premature vindication celebration postgame. You could already smell the champagne, or at least they could. You already knew they were making some kind of plans about where was the party going to be in Cleveland, how late would the flight be delayed tomorrow to go home, would they have time, what would they do. You could just sense it that they thought it was over. And to the Cavaliers' credit, that they actually came out and fought with pride, detonated early on by JR, and then all of a sudden Kevin Love. I got to give Kevin Love a bunch of love tonight. Let me look at my box here just to make sure what Kevin Love did, because he made a bunch of threes. 6 out of 8 went Kevin Love. And he fought his guts out. He only had 5 rebounds, which surprised me. LeBron and Tristan. Tristan showed back up with 10 rebounds tonight. But it brings me back to who's the most explosive scorer on the Cleveland Cavaliers? Who's the closer for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Who can make shots the way nobody on the floor can make shots, including LeBron, heck, including Steph, Klay, name them? Who is the best offensive player on the floor in explosive spurts? Well, Golden State tonight was forced to say Uncle, as in Uncle Drew, as in Kyrie Irving, who can be the baddest man on the basketball planet. He's been MIA to me. I don't know why. I don't know if he felt like he had to defer to the king. But tonight, he just sort of got sick and tired of it all. And he started attacking. He started playing downhill. He started shooting threes with conviction for the first time in the series. Once he made one, then it went to 2, it went to 3. What did he end up with from 3? Kyrie, 7 of 12 from 3. That'll work. What's the overall 24 finals record from 3? That'll work. So now it's fascinating to me because the pressure now seismically shifts back to the Golden State. All of a sudden, Warriors go home for a game that we have to wait all the way until Monday night for, unfortunately. But all the way until Monday night, the pressure will build on the Golden State Warriors. And I think it's fascinating pressure because of what happened last year. The specter of last year now looms larger than ever over Golden State's shoulders. And they start to wonder, gee, is it happening again? Are we going to be another all-time victim of the greatest comeback in finals history, which would be obviously Cavs in 7? I said Golden State in 7 going in. I have a lot of respect for LeBron and especially Kyrie and a certain amount for Tristan and Kevin Love. And I still believe they're capable of winning 3 games and forcing a Game 7 back in Oakland. My mentality going in was there is no way that after Steph Curry stunk it up so badly in the fourth quarter of Game 7 in his house last year that he would come up that small. He's small enough as it is, slender little Steph. But he went 1 for 6 in that fourth quarter, 1 for 5 from 3. His Golden State shot 1 for 10 from 3 in Game 7 at home last year. That's the wrong I figured they would right this time, this year. Well, now they're looking at real trouble because let's just say Cleveland can maintain some momentum and go, quote-unquote, steal Game 5. Tall task. Again, they were 6.5-point underdog at home tonight. And they'll be somewhere in that vicinity, I would think, on Monday night back in Oakland. But let's say they do steal it. All of a sudden they go home with the chance to make history. All they'd have to do is hold serve at home, and boom, you're back in Oakland for what I thought would happen in the first place, a Game 7. I didn't think it was going to happen this way, in this sequence, obviously. I thought it would be tit for a tat, back and forth, teeter-totter. You win one, we win one. We win one on your court, you win one on ours. Because obviously LeBron and company had won 2 at Golden State last year, a building LeBron loves to play in, and 1 the year before in overtime. And that was without Kyrie and without Kevin Love. And I still say, looking back at this year, LeBron owed his team because he had 6 turnovers in the second quarter of Game 1 as the game slipped away at halftime. They were down 8 and couldn't get back in the game. Had 8 turnovers for the game. That's just unacceptable. You're the best player on the planet. You let your team down. And in Game 2, LeBron had an A-plus first half, one of the best halves he's ever played in his playoff career, followed by a D for disengaged in the second half. He was awful, tentative, shied away from the pressure in the basket, took 6 total shots in the second half, did LeBron James. Game slipped and slipped and slipped away as he deferred and deferred and deferred. I didn't know what he was doing. Where are you going? Where are you, big guy? I don't know. He just has those strange disappearing acts, and he wasn't there for his team in that game, and so you lost the first one by 22, second one by 19. Should have closed the deal in Game 3. And finally, Cleveland played like Cleveland is capable of playing, which brings me to my conclusive point. I have been arguing, fighting, battling all week long on Undisputed, 9:30 noon Eastern Time, on Fox Sports 1, but we've been here in Cleveland all week. Thank you, Cleveland. Love you people. I met so many people this week. They don't love my opinion of LeBron, but they respect it, and they love our show, and I do appreciate that deeply from all my heart and soul. But I've been arguing with the people on Undisputed, with the other debaters, Chris Broussard, all of our guys, especially Shannon Sharpe, about just how great this quote-unquote all-time great Golden State team is. The team we saw tonight is the team I've been shouting about all week. That team got blown out at home by my Spurs by 29. That team trailed my Spurs in Game 1 of the Western Conference playoffs at Oakland by 23 mid-third quarter when Zaza Pachulia eliminated Kwahi Leonard and became the MVP of the Western Conference Finals. So by 29 and by 23, we, as in the Spurs, would have won that game. I believe we would have won the series, 7 games. I picked it. I love my team on the road. It loves to play in Oakland. That's the greatest team ever? Really? The team that got blown out by 20 at the Lakers, by 32 at the Denver Nuggets, by 21 at Memphis, the team that at home blew a 24-point lead to the Memphis Grizzlies, then lost by 9 in overtime, the team that lost at Sacramento, lost at Miami when Miami wasn't playing well. Really? That team that lost a 14-point lead at home on Christmas Day to these same Cavaliers? That team? That's the greatest team. You are kidding me. What? It's the biggest bunch of baloney. Anybody who thinks that's the greatest team ever can go jump in that lake that's right out that window, Lake Erie. Absurd. Greatest team. They've proven what? They have one cheap ring that they won 2 years ago because Kyrie got hurt in Game 1's overtime and Kevin Love was lost for the whole series. Really? That's all you got? And you were obviously didn't have Kevin Durant then, but Steph, Klay, Draymond, man, they were down 2-1 to the King. Game 4, King's house. He's up 2-1, could go up 3-1. And he shot 7 for 22 and disappeared. I don't know that big insertion in the starting lineup, big strategic change by Steve Kerr, won Andre Iguodala that finals MVP. So not Steph was MVP, but Iggy was MVP? Really? Because of the way he guarded LeBron and reignited the offense for Golden State? Steph hadn't lived up the last 2 years to his back-to-back MVPs, the second unanimous. It was really no-show in Game 7 at home last year, and he was kind of a no-show tonight. What did Steph end up? Hold on, let me look at my box here. Interesting. Steph was 4 of 13, 2 of 9 from 3. Did have 10 assists, but managed a meager 14 points. I don't know. That wasn't an MVP performance from Steph Curry. Obviously, he embraced and welcomed the arrival of Kevin Durant, which said to me that he decided he just couldn't do it by himself, so he made it Kevin's team. And tonight, Kevin played pretty well. He had 35 big points, made 15 to 16 free throws, but just 9 of 22, 2 for 9 from 3. It's a three-point shooting contest, and Golden State got its rumps kicked tonight from the three-point line. Obviously, Cleveland will not be able to maintain that kind of heat from the three-point line, but now that it's reestablished itself as a team that has had its way with Golden State in the past, been able to defend Golden State pretty well, gotten more physical with Golden State, played okay defense tonight, but still, it required scoring 137 to rout the 116 by the Golden State Warriors. Again, bottom line, Golden State's not all-time great. They've proven to me next to nothing. Kevin Durant has had many playoff failures. Steph Curry has had several bigger playoff failures. So let's see if they can withstand the pressure. Now the pressure will loom for the next 3 days until they get to play again on Monday night back in their house. Now again, they get the opportunity to clinch at home, which obviously would be more fun for them, but they have lost the opportunity to make history in the positive way by sweeping the playoffs at 16-0, and now they're right back in the crosshairs of making history in the all-time negative way of blowing a 3-0 lead in the finals. I hope it gets interesting. I want to see it go 7 games. I'm proud of LeBron James. I'm even prouder of Kyrie. I'm pretty proud of Tristan and Kevin Love. They showed me some guts and some fight and some pride tonight I didn't think I would see from them on this night. I thought it was over. I'm happy it's not. I despise all those people led by Charles Barkley saying the NBA playoffs suck, to quote Charles, that the NHL playoffs are better, and I love playoff hockey. It's edge of seat. I get all that. I'm an NBA man to my core. I love this game. I love this game tonight. I'm going to love Monday night. I'm hoping I get to love, what's the next one? Thursday night. And I certainly wouldn't mind loving the following Sunday night in a Game 7. We will talk about it Monday morning at 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern to noon, 9:30 to noon Eastern time on Fox Sports 1. Me versus Shannon. Sharpe, he already texted me. He's the all-time gloat texter. I don't hear a peep from him after Game 1, Game 2, or Game 3, but he texted me right after this game just before I did the Facebook Live, something, blah, 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 we got another game. It's just a gloat text. He can't help himself. He can't save himself from himself. I never gloat text. I just win bets from Shannon Sharpe. I won a bet off Game 2, won another case of Diet Mountain Dew. I've lost track of how many he owes me. I have another case of Diet Dew bet on Golden State just to win the series. Again, I picked him in 7. I'm still loving my shot at that. Still loving it. So I think I'll be up another case of Dew there. But takeaway from tonight was, I'm very happy for Cleveland. I'm happy for me that, God willing, I will get to go back to Los Angeles very early in the morning. I'm going to get to sleep for about 3 hours here in Cleveland. And Hazel, I'm coming home. Ernestine, I'm coming home. Those are my 2 girls back in L.A. My wife, Ernestine. My now 8-month-old Maltese, Hazel, the light of our lives. She runs our house back in Century City. Hoping to be there tomorrow, ladies. I will see all of you on Monday, 9:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Thanks for hanging with me. Hope you enjoyed the night. I love this game. I'll see you Monday. Good night, Facebook.